Deshaun Watson met with reporters yesterday. We played a little bit of the sound at the top of the show. He's focused on clearing his name. And it's easy to say that. And I think, look, it's a tough balance. You don't want Deshaun Watson to say anything he shouldn't say because that concept that you hear in the Miranda warnings, anything you say can and will be used against you, it applies in all litigation. It's not hearsay if it's said out of court by one of the parties to the litigation, it's being used against them. So anything Deshaun Watson would say in any setting that is recorded in any way can be played at any of these trials against him. And that's not good. So he's kind of walking on a tightrope. And because of that, you can see he's under stress.
Definitely.
He's trying not to say the wrong thing.
Right.
And he resorts to talking points. So they asked him about settling, and he tried his best to recite the talking points that his lawyers crafted and gave to him. But if that talking point is actually how he feels, he is going to spend the next 2 years working his way through 26 trials and maybe more. Maybe more. That the big takeaway from Tony Busby's statement that was issued in response to Deshaun Watson's press conference from yesterday was there are many more out there who have not yet filed lawsuits. There it is right near the bottom, some of which have sued and many others who haven't yet. Until the statute of limitations expires on anyone who could sue, and let's say the latest one would be 2 years after the first case was filed. Let's assume he's stopped with the Instagram massages after he was sued once for it. He's still got 9 more months where people will fall within that window, because in Texas it's 2 years to file the kind of claim that's been made in this case. So who knows what 26 is going to become. It's not officially 26 yet, but Busby has said 24 will become 26, and many others who have not sued, yet. That implies a lot. So if he's determined to clear his name, and look, this is part of what I would tell him, Chris, if he and I were able to sit down and talk.
Go ahead. I don't think you don't need to be a lawyer for this one. I think I would tell him the same thing here.
It's too late to clear your name.
Exactly.
It's over. That's over. Right. You just have to accept the fact that your name is forever stained by this, and now you have to do damage control. You have to figure out the best way out of a maze that does not have the escape that you think. You're not going to get out the doors to this maze. You got to figure out a way to dig a hole and go under the wall. And you're going to get dirt on you when you do it, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah, I agreed. I mean, first off, it wasn't easy for him up there. I know that. I give him credit for being up there and answering questions and doing that. It was very measured, as you talked about. Yes, you could see he was nervous talking about it. Probably, one, it's an uncomfortable subject, but two, to your point, he's trying to remember what the lawyers told him to say so he doesn't say anything to incriminate himself. But like the clearing the name thing, to me, of course, is the big shiny object to talk about. Because, I mean, you said it. How at this point? You're not going to clear it. Nobody's going to forget about this. I mean, you're going to – all 26 cases we're going to win? All right, if you win 24 out of 26, there's still going to be 2, and your name's not cleared. So that to me is where, I guess I'm just surprised to hear that language still at this point. And at some point, I know, like what you're saying, Mike, what I want to say is just like, you're not going to clear your name. I'm sorry, whether you're guilty or not. It's too far down that path. Now we got to start thinking about what's the best move for you, going forward, and how does that mean playing football? Because you're just not going to get the other aspect back. And to me, at some point, I think you got to just go, all right, what's the best way to just get this over with, get it done with, and now I can get back to playing football? Because really, that to me is going to go the farthest way to never clearing his name, but soothing the public emotions over a little bit, letting time heal it, let him play, let him talk, see some remorse in the guy and stuff like that, which I know is angering people as well. But, I don't get the clear your name part of it at all.
And let's get to that.
Yeah.
That clip is a little bit farther down.
Sorry, I
didn't
to the
control
mean
room.
to go
No,
there.
but this is good. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Because the last time he spoke, he was asked if he has any regrets, and he said no. And that upsets some people because how could you not have regrets for something that you did that gave rise to this mess? Regardless of who's right and who's wrong, your actions, your decisions, your habits contributed to this mess. He was asked again yesterday if he still has any regrets, a specific question, and I think an answer where he tried to give something that was more nuanced than maybe the talking points that we otherwise heard. Here it is.
You said that you had never disrespected a woman in your life and that you had no regrets about anything you did during these massage sessions. Do you still stand by that statement?
I think that question kind of, triggered a lot of people, not just women in general, but a lot of people from this, in the league, from women to males and things like that. And what I was saying is, yes, I never assaulted, disrespected, or harassed anyone. But at the same time, I do understand that I do have regrets as far as the impact that it's had on the community and people outside of just myself. And that includes my family, that includes this organization, that includes my teammates in this locker room that have to answer to these questions. That includes, the fan base of the Cleveland Browns. That includes males, females, everyone across the world. So that's one thing I do regret is the impact that it's have triggered on so many people. And it's tough to have to, deal with.
But as far as your actions, you don't have any regrets about anything that you've actually done?
Like I said, I never assaulted anyone, or I never harassed anyone, or I never disrespected anyone, or I never forced anyone to do anything.
That's the talking point that he utilized multiple times on March 25. I never harassed anyone. I never disrespected anyone. I never assaulted anyone. I never forced anyone to do anything. That has been the best case scenario crafted by his lawyers and repeated. I'm not saying he's not being truthful when he says it. But that's for the courts to determine whether or not he's being truthful. It's not for me to determine. But that's what he believes. That's what he's selling. Whether or not it's the truth that is accepted by a jury or the court of public opinion is two different things altogether. But that's his story, and it's clear that he's sticking to it. As it relates to regret, he used the word triggered a couple of times. There's kind of a derisive and dismissive tone to that, like, oh, God, well, now you're triggered. It's kind of reasonable for people to react with some consternation when the guy says he has no regrets, because there are plenty of people who have dealt with collateral damage because of what happened, including Browns fans. I'm glad he mentioned Browns fans. I'm in their corner. They shouldn't have to deal with this burden of being football fans. That's why I said the day they traded for him, he needs to settle these cases. It's one of the reasons why. You need a fresh start. You don't need your fan base caught up in this uncertainty and worry and stress, and is he going to be suspended? Is he going to be put on the commissioner exempt list? Now I got to go defend him along with the rest of the team when my brother-in-law, the Steelers fan, starts giving me crap. I mean, that's the way it works. And you see it on social media. 95% of the people who will react with hostile tweets to anything that we say about this case is we try to play it down the middle and be fair to the facts and be fair to everyone involved. They get pissed off and they react, and when I click on their bio, Browns fan. Browns fans shouldn't have to be in this position where they're expected to take up this effort for Deshaun Watson. So it should have been settled from the moment he was traded to the Browns. That's one of the big mistakes. Stephen Ross, Dolphins owner, say what you will about Stephen Ross.
Yeah.
His instincts were right about the civil cases. Those must go before we will trade for this player.
There's no way out of that conversation for Watson there. He's going to continue to sound insensitive when, again, you're playing the I'm going to clear my name, I did nothing wrong thing. And, obviously there's people that were hurt by this. We've seen, two of them come out publicly and talk about it. So they were uncomfortable and did feel disrespected and enough, again, to pursue other courses of action through law to go after Deshaun Watson. But when you're going to say that, nothing went down and, this is, malarkey, and it's my word versus their word, that's where Deshaun Watson's, lawyers advise him he can't say anything. So that's just not going to sound good. And he's going to have to continue to go down that road, and it's going to continue to sound insensitive. It is. Even, whatever way you look at it, it's just going to sound insensitive. And to the point where, that people always talk about, like, what the first part of healing is admitting wrong and all of that. I just don't think that's going to happen. One, declaring his name. Two, hey, there's a thought to me that, like, the same stubborn things that make Deshaun Watson a great quarterback are going to make him fight this to the very end. And, the one thing I'll say, too, is, great quarterbacks can lie to themselves. They can. I've seen it in person. I've seen multiple. I mean, I lived with one, right? So I could tell you that there, too, to where they can do something and tell themselves, no, that didn't happen. This happened. And I'm not saying that's the case with Deshaun Watson, but it's coming off weird. Even though he talked yesterday and you think that's going to be a positive, I don't think it's really a positive when he gets up there and talks. It just adds more to the negativity and to Tony Busby's case.
They had managed to keep him away from the media, and I have looked at the offseason media policies for the NFL. I don't see a clear mandate that Deshaun Watson be available for a press conference, and even if he is, he doesn't have to answer these questions. He was asked last week by the Associated Press about the situation while he was signing some autographs after practice, and he said, I defer to my lawyer and my agent. He could have just said that. Look, I'm here to talk about football. There's an active legal process that is clearly not over yet, and I'm not educated to talk about it. I'm not equipped to talk about it, and I've been advised by my lawyer and my agent to say nothing about it. Once you say that, they may try to ask you another question about it.
It's over.
But you do the Bill Belichick thing. It's already been addressed. You want to talk about football? Let's talk about football. I can't talk about the other things. They told me I can't talk about the other things.
Right.
I can't make these people upset with me. They are the ones who are representing my interests, and I have to do what they tell me to do. If you have an issue with that, you can take it up with them.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done.
Yeah.
He's not helping himself.
No, he's not. It seems like the public outcry.
Clumsy talking points.
Right.
You know who should be talking?
Rusty
is
Hardin?
Jimmy Haslam.
Or Jimmy Haslam.
Jimmy Haslam should be talking.
Yeah.
Andrew Berry should be talking. Their attitude was, and I meant to write this last night, and I'll write it later today. When they had the press conference on March 25, and Andrew Berry was asked point blank, we played the clip. Did Deshaun Watson, do you think he did anything wrong? And he glossed right over it. Because, see, they don't care what he did. They came to the conclusion, they were willing to make the bet that going forward, he wasn't going to do anything like this.
Right.
He's been scared straight by criminal investigation and at the time, 22 lawsuits.
And I don't think he's really that bad guy, but this is some sort of fetish. Because, again, that's the NFL thing. Right.
Yeah. Look, he learned
bad.
his lesson.
This is a fetish.
He's not gonna do this. This is a one-time thing. Well, not one time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
It's over. He's cured. It's done. Whatever it was, he doesn't do it anymore. Right? Like he gave up smoking. Like, okay, he's not gonna. He's done. It's over. It's over. We're not worried about that. He's seen what happens when he lives that lifestyle.
Right.
But even then, they underestimated what was still to happen. 2 more lawsuits filed. 2 more lawsuits to come. Who knows how many more are going to follow along.
Right.
I don't think they completely appreciated what the consequences were going to be once they captured the flag. See, it became a game of capture the flag between the Saints, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Browns. And the Browns got thrown off. And they got up, dusted themselves off, and said, damn it, we're getting that flag. What do we got to do to get that flag? $230 million guaranteed over 5 years, fully guaranteed from signing. Holy crap, nobody's done that before, but we'll do it. We'll do it because we must get that flag. And that's where you need to have, to use the phrase that Haslam or somebody else leaked to Mortensen as it relates to Baker Mayfield back in March, an adult in the room.
Yeah.
Somebody with foresight, somebody with judgment, somebody with wisdom, somebody who can set aside the obsession with winning and say, hey, guys, look, there's still 22 lawsuits. There's no sign that they're going to settle. Maybe we should tell them to settle them all. And you know what? Here's the other side of it, Chris. Even if they had, Settled them all?
Still going on.
Still could be others.
Right.
You still have others.
Right.
The other two could sue. Now, if you had settled them with a strict and standard confidentiality agreement or an NDA, then you don't have the two people talk to Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Because that is the thing.
That's going to have 4 more lawsuits added on.
That's the thing that breathed new life into all of this. It was just kind of there.
Right.
Then comes the HBO Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel.
You get to see faces,
and the aftermath
emotions.
of that 3 weeks later.
Right.
It's all gone downhill. Rusty Hardin's instincts were dead on balls accurate as it relates to the impact of that HBO special, because they were concerned they weren't going to get fair treatment, because anything other than my guy didn't do it is unfair treatment in their eyes. He knew in his heart what was going to happen. I think he knew that things were going to start to disintegrate in the aftermath of that, and they have. Yeah. And the Browns should have at least recognized. I think they just thought we're going to keep our heads low and our mouths shut. We're going to weather the storm, and the storm's going to pass, and then we're going to have a franchise quarterback.
Sure. And desperate people do desperate things. And that's
they had no idea how bad the storm was going to be.
Right. They lost way because they messed up, and all of a sudden it became like, oh, my gosh, we don't have a quarterback here. We screwed up. Deshaun Watson said no to us, and now we got to offer him the greatest contract ever. We're not going to have a quarterback. And so they were desperate. And they didn't think things out because of that, because they went, oh, no, we got nothing. We have a Super Bowl team, and we have no quarterback.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.